You can watch Everton versus Tottenham on Now TV for just €10. So what's stopping you? Putting up more Christmas decorations? Your house already looks like Santa's grotto. A family party? Your Aunt Mary has seen you 4 times this week already. This is a cracking fixture. Don't let anything get in your way. To treat yourself to a Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass and watch the games that matter to you for just €10, search Now TV Football today. Content streamed by internet. Full terms at nowtv.com.
This is TJ Morris, and you're listening to ET Radio. We are sponsored by ACO Club, American Communications Online. So, hello, troops. Welcome aboard. We always say to all those out there that are spinning around smartly on planet Earth, Gaia, Sophia, Sophia, however you'd like to say it, thank you for joining us, especially all our Facebook friends out there that like us. And we are all about not being alone and getting to know each other. So we're going to share today, which is Saturday, 12/22, in the year of 2018. We're getting ready to have happy holidays in North America for sure, maybe around the world, depending on how you look at life and if you celebrate and have cultures. But if you do and you can hear me, thank you so much, especially everybody in Ireland and Canada and Europe, of all parts. We've been getting a lot of people, but most of all, 80% of our people are right here in North America. So thank you, the United States of America people that listen to us speaking English. And we have American Communications Online, and we share radio shows and podcasting. We do it live. For those that have known me through Facebook or actually this radio show, and our keywords are consciousness and self-help and educational entertainment, Authors Book Club, of course ACO and American Communications Online, and we have the Opened Walk and Bill M. Tracer, which has been my co-host for several years, along with Janet Carroll Lesson and Tommy Hawksblood, and occasionally Tony R. Elliott. And sometimes a Mad Painter would come in from over in Georgia and bring in people on Skype. So we've had a great time. We've had some great speakers over the last 6 years, and this is a time of year when we thank everybody, and we're very thankful, warm, and welcoming for all of our friends, and have our life changes, and everybody is walking on their own spiritual path. And my mother passed down to me that we are all the authors of our own life story. And now that we have a paid-for Spreaker account through our company, American Communications Online, we're getting out to a lot more people and going straight to YouTube. And we have FM radio and, of course, iTunes, and that's the big one. The big place you have to be, and I've been watching numbers of 150,000 to 250,000 increase when people ask, and that's not a lot, but it's a lot of people. If you put them all in one room, you couldn't. So, we thank people for supporting us and letting us know that you like our little club. It's a club of people, and we invite you to join us on Facebook. I've got UFO Secret Space for those that like that, and many others, and Paranormal, and Star Warriors, Star Trekkers for those that like to follow what we do and all that we're doing with people in the entertainment, education, and entertainment business. So we're doing our best to make people feel a part of us. And so if you'd like to be on one of our radio shows, please let us know. We're open to moderating books for authors and helping them talk about what their passion is and what they're bothered to write about. So we created an Authors Club, ACO, Authors Club organization. And we have Authors Book Club, and we're going to be listing that. And a lot of people nowadays that used to help us on free social media are getting all tied up and working as volunteers free and free social media. So everybody can have their own business and their own podcast and their own website and their free social media. And now people are telling me they're all too busy to help us anymore. So I guess we're going to have to look for some new volunteers. Now I'll be speaking at the new conference called New Horizons in 2019 right here in the Panhandle of Florida. New Horizons is Saturday, January 12th at the Navarre Conference Center. For those of you that are anywhere close to us, a whole lot of people come out, a lot of psychic readers and people that sell crystals and drummers and drumming companies and things like that. It's just a good old gathering of like kindred spirits. And I'll be talking about that, New Horizons, and I'm going to ask my daughter to join me with her book called Intrinsic Realities. And I've got quite a few books out there. I'm been asked to talk about UFOs and the portal Stargate and ET disclosure. So I'm very happy to make my own idea of what that's going to be and become a speaker. It'll be my second big conference. I did Mid-South Con with Bill M. Tracer in 2016, and I was skipping 2017, but then I went to the Mars Anomaly Conference in Mobile, Alabama, and I got up briefly with Dr. Lesson and Janet Carroll Lesson, and then this year I'm going to do, 2019, do New Horizons. Well, here's Bill M. Tracer. Let me get him to introduce himself. So, Bill, we'll do a quick sound check. How are you tonight?
I'm okay. How do I sound?
You sound pretty darn good, like you always do. We usually don't ever have any trouble with your equipment. Pretty good from Memphis area, Cordova. Go ahead and introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are and what books you've written and why you're doing our Authors Club, and then how they can get in touch with you. And then we'll get on and we'll talk about how to be open-minded, I guess. I put opened mind, the open walk, so we can give an idea of what we want to create in our ACO Club, because so many people are so busy these days. But if they want to be with us and on our radio and find us on Facebook, and we can always put them on our websites as well, including all your art and stuff. So I'm going to let you just take over and give me a rest for a while. It's your turn, and then we'll look for you on YouTube later tonight.
All right. Well, I am Bill M. Tracer, and I'm both an author and a freelance artist. And I work with 3D computer graphics as well as fractals or abstract. And as far as the art goes, then for my writing, I write both fiction and nonfiction. I have 2 books out that are fiction and 2 books out that are nonfiction, for a total of 4 books. And then I got a few short, ebook shorts that are out there too. But the most recent book, The Opened Walk, is, I guess, our primary topic tonight. That's what I wrote most recently, and it's basically a look at spirituality, blending science with our spiritual quest. That's the subtitle of the book. And it's basically looking at religion and spiritual ways of thinking and philosophies and belief systems the world over, and comparing and contrasting them, and kind of finding that common ground, between them all, and with the logic that that by finding those things that all the major religions share in common, then we're looking at something that is obviously near and dear to our heart, something that is quintessentially spiritual, and so that's the basic idea of the open walk. And inevitably, when you start comparing multiple spiritual ideas and belief systems, then you end up finding this kind of synchronicity or a syncretistic way of looking at things. You find the things that synchronize between the various beliefs, and that's a big part of what the book talks about. In fact, in the introduction, the primary theme of the introduction of the book is personalized syncretism. What is that? And I kind of examine what that is in the introduction, and take a look at the idea of how, as we do that, as we dig into all these various belief systems, we find the things where the blend, that kind of come together, that harmonize, and that's where the syncretism comes in. The definition of syncretism, according to the dictionary, chiefly when it comes to religious syncretism, is a term used often by scholars and academics to describe the practice of those seeking to blend multiple religions, philosophies, and schools of thought into a synchronized belief system. That's the basic idea of what syncretism is. And on the open walk, we find that syncretism naturally emerges and can be personalized. So you don't have to necessarily institutionalize it. It can be totally personal. And I think that's kind of important, because inevitably we're going to come up with different ways of synchronizing. Each individual will. But in the long run, I think a lot of what will emerge will be pretty similar between various people. But it's not necessarily going to be the same. So the open walk leads to syncretism, and then from there you just kind of keep on doing it. You keep on learning more and more about the various religions of the world. That's kind of a lifetime endeavor. It's not something that you do overnight. And it just goes on and on. It's an ongoing process. And inevitably, as you do that, things are going to evolve over time. It's going to change. You're not going to just establish a specific belief system and then just stay there. You're going to change over time. The ideas are going to slowly evolve. And it just as everything evolves, And so that's a big part of it. You mustn't expect, okay, after a couple of years of doing this, you say, okay, I've done it now. That's not going to do it. That's not going to work like that. Instead, it is, like I say, an ongoing process that just keeps on going throughout your entire life.
Well, you're doing good.
Okay. All right.
I'm following you so far.
Another question that I talked about in that chapter is this a movement or a trend, this tendency toward syncretism? Is it a movement or a trend? Do we stand at the threshold of a revolutionary evolution of our beliefs, growing increasingly individualized and personalized? Is this the next stage in the evolution of human beliefs? Personalized syncretism is naturally going to manifest itself differently in each individual, even while many may be decidedly similar. Will inevitably be shared in common between the various personal expressions of this individualized process. But it would seem that unless religious organizations are willing to adapt to this individualization of believers, their very continued existence may be in jeopardy. If the trend continues moving more in the direction of an increasing number of individuals personalizing their beliefs, then personalized syncretism will come to dominate. It may become PC to adopt PS. We can respond to this trend by embracing it and riding the wave, adapt and evolve with it, or we can resist it, fail to adapt, with the inevitable result of death. Not necessarily the death of individuals, but of whole institutions, even pillars of society. Like it or not, this is scary stuff, potentially destabilizing. All the more reason adapting and evolving makes more sense than resisting this trend. So, another thing that I focus on is the fact what we call the unchurched. there's a decided increase worldwide of the so-called unchurched. That's people who no longer go to church. And this is not.
Yeah, a lot of them listen to TV.